I've been wondering a lot about stories lately. The stories I tell myself, the stories that I consume on a daily basis, countless stories told by other people. And I've been wondering about the aspects of the stories. What makes it a good story? What makes it worth listening to? Am I an appropriate storyteller for my story? So I asked an expert in the field, a lady by the name of Sheri Liles, who's a professional storyteller. And here's what she had to say about storytelling, why it's important, and how its impact is so necessary, especially right now when we're all experiencing this great change in our consciousness. So please join me in listening to Sheri's story about telling stories.
It seems like to me, nothing that you ever do or has happened to you or that you've learned in life is wasted when you think about it. I mean, I have this degree in English from Appalachian State University. I taught for a year. And you might think that you spent 4 years, I even worked on a master's degree in English for a while. It's not wasted. It's contributed to my becoming a storyteller. For the first time ever, I took a creative writing course this past spring at Maryville College. I audited a creative writing course in poetry. I wrote poems. I wrote a shit ton of poems. And learned a few things about what works and what doesn't, and heard other people's poems and read my own to them, etc. The thing I wanted to say is that those two endeavors that came out of that 4 years that I spent in college majoring in English and studying all kinds of poets and fiction writers and nonfiction writers, that led me, I think, part of what led me to be a good storyteller, because I can I'm good at remembering how the action goes in a particular story, and I can do that. It's also made me realize that in a short form, a poem is the condensation of those longer ideas that we might try to get through in a story. And so all of that is to say, how does one put that to work in a wider context of creativity? Well, I mean, I could do like performances, and I do. I tell stories in front of crowds of people and get paid to do that. That's all good.
I've seen you at I think the Scottish Fair.
Yes. And that's all good. And I thought I could actually help other people learn to be storytellers who want to be storytellers, because I have this ability to like teach. So then I thought, how to do that. How could I make it even into like a visual thing? And so I've made these dioramas. You'll see them in the studio. They light up.
I've heard
and they
that,
portray the stories.
I've heard that storytelling is the oldest skill to mankind.
It's probably the most ancient of art forms.
Yeah.
Because it's not just for the things that you have to know to live. In some ways it is. If you don't have stories, you don't know how did my grandparents plant corn? And there was a story that they told, this is how we always did it, and it's passed on, and that's a story. It may not have like some big, plot to it, but it's a story.
You want to put your kids to sleep?
Yeah, right. Want to cure a toothache? This is what you do. You want to keep a hen from being broody? So these are the stories that we tell, and storytelling is so important. And I thought I could be like a modern day. I could teach a course and it'd be like a modern day troubadour. Because they had those, back in the day. They were people that would go from town to town and they'd tell stories and maybe play an instrument and recite a poem or whatever. And then they'd go to the next town and do the same thing, and they were troubadours. And I began looking at modern day, who are the modern day troubadours?
Well, could be you. I mean, let's
Well,
let's
I
shoot
mean,
this. Let's
that's what
shoot
I
your
that's
story
that's what I
today.
think Bob Dylan is.
If you're new to the channel or just happen to live in or around East Tennessee, the channel has been created to share the many unique perspectives on the richness and wonderful beauty of the people, communities, and natural wonders around the East Tennessee region. If you've liked the videos I've produced this far, please consider leaving a like, sharing a video, and subscribing to the channel. I'm just getting started and would really appreciate your individual help in growing this experience with me. Thank you.